This week we're talking about rest, and I wanted to talk quickly about eating and how we can support our body in restoring itself through a couple of simple tools around eating. So the first one is if you're going to commit to a period of rest, so it doesn't mean you have to take a whole week off of work or do anything like that. You can just commit to some of these practices, which I'm offering you for, say, 3 days or 5 days or a week. So for this period that you might consider committing to, you can try eating with a singular focus. So sitting down without devices, books, TVs, nothing, just sitting and eating. And that means not eating at your desk, and it means not standing at the counter eating, which I know a lot of us mamas do. So what you'll find is that it's incredibly challenging at first to just sit there and eat and do nothing else. But it's really amazing because you'll feel so much more satisfied with your food. Your body will be able to digest it more easily because you're not inundating yourself with all of these outside sort of stimulation. Your body will probably be in a more relaxed state, like in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest, digest, repair, reproduce. So it's an optimal state to be in to properly digest your food. So you'll find you probably are digesting food more comfortably, which also means that your body is able to assimilate the nutrients more readily. And that means that you are actually nourishing your body in an optimal way. So that's a really beautiful thing to try and do. You'll also find that the more of these sort of intentional pauses you can create where you're not doing anything else, you're only single tasking and you're doing something with sort of a meditative approach, you'll find that you get a lot of like great ideas or insights or clarity also just by creating that little bit of space for yourself. So try eating with a singular focus, sitting down, and see what happens. Another thing is to eat really warming foods. So warming foods are easier to digest from the Ayurvedic perspective, and also in Chinese medicine as well. So eating foods that are warm and warming spices like cinnamon and that kind of thing can be really amazing, rather than eating cold salads or smoothies or things like that. So if you're gonna do this period where you really want to sort of rejuvenate yourself, try eating mostly warm foods for that time and see how you feel. It's also just really a nice feeling in your body to be warmed up from the inside out. Another thing is to not override your energy levels with food or drinks. So if you're in this time where you feel like you could really use a rest, notice when you start to feel tired, and instead of going for that extra cup of coffee or the chocolate or whatever is going to sort of give you that boost, sugar is one that a lot of us reach for. See if you can either replace that with another food or drink that would be more nourishing and more supportive of the energy that you're really in, which is needing restoration. So something like withania is a beautiful Ayurvedic herb that you can talk to your naturopath or doctor about, but it's amazing for supporting the nervous system, especially in times of stress. It's very restorative. So that having a tea with withania can be really beautiful. I also love the spring dragon tea that Ron Tea Garden makes. I'll link to that on my Instagram stories as well. And then also just going, if you're reaching for sugar or chocolate or caffeine later in the day, maybe it's a good opportunity to lay down instead of fueling your system. Maybe what you need is actually rest. So even if that's only for 2 or 3 minutes, doing something restorative can be really amazing how much it can energize you. So I'll talk about that in a separate video, but those are just 3 ways that you can sort of use food as a way of really deeply nourishing yourself during this time. So I hope that's helpful. I'd love to hear from you if any of those tools really resonate. Thanks.